Peace, peace.
And more peace. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Self. All praises to the Great Beyond. The Christ consciousness and solar apocalypse. It is one that can be turbulent as the poles of the sun begin to change. Um, and you have the return of the great American solar eclipse, which is a continuation, because this is leap year, which is a continuation of the other great American eclipse that happened a few years ago that came from northwest to southeast. Now the sun is going to make a track that goes from southwest to northeast. So as the sun begins to flip its poles, that will send out all types of energy through the solar flarings, the burst of light that comes from that portal. And at the center of it is a black hole that sends out a lot of light. And as it flips its pole, it's going to send a great force of energy upon the galactic fabric sheet that is made of the what they call the antimatter, or matter that they don't understand. The same way the dream world is not understood. It's made of the same substance. So the Christ consciousness is that's been self-contained in the central station of the heart as it beats in the polars of the solar plexus of the feet. The south pole change places with the north pole, which is at the apex of the mind, or the pineal, or the holy of holies, or the sanctum sanctorum, or the Buddha, the black dot, the I am on this side. And that same source energy speaking from that point of existence, broadcasting. And so for me, as I make decisions, as I move amongst the infinite plane, the secular plane, the seven sands of time, Arabian Nights, the Meccas, the pilgrimage, the Trail of Tears, the world wars, the falling and rises of the empires, and just, but self. I can only control myself. And now that I've been able to control myself, I'm able to see now more clearly all the vices and the traps that were set up before I got here based on my choices of being able to get myself out of this maze. You know, the serpentine, the root chakra, the 12 DNA strands, the three. So now it's 2024, the 4 and the 2 and the 6, right? 4 and 2 is 6. 6 and 2 is the 8. So now you have the hourglass that has to be flipped. So the subconscious becomes the conscious mind, and the conscious mind becomes the subconscious. So everything in the subconscious, things will begin to show themselves more apparently for you. For me, I've my dreams, my travels, my things that I've seen, things that are coming upon me. situations that I'm putting myself in, um, things I'm applying for to do to make myself a better fit in society ultimately. Because now, I have seed amongst this plane of existence. Intelligent seed. Intelligence is whole, um, a whole codex of an amalgamation of information and knowledge and technology. The ability to speak is a whole technology within itself, based on what we understand, the spine and the nervous system, the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA within you, the central station. So now I operate in self. Everything that I've always been afraid of, everything that I've been questioning has now become apparent based on the concepts. So now I've allowed myself to be resurrected from me out of the darkness. The sun shines in the darkness, but the sun is darkness too, because, as the eclipse comes this time, that completes the X from the last time it came. So again, to rewind, the last solar eclipse came from the northwest to the southeast. Now it's going to come from the southwest going northeast. It was northwest. So that completes the X. So now as the sun poles begin to change, the Christ consciousness must become activated because it happens every 11 years. This year, there's going to be billions of cicadas. Hasn't happened in a long time. And it said in those times, the earth shall spew forth these locusts. So as the sun changes its pole, so now the subconscious mind has to be the conscious mind. The world stage is being set, my brothers and sisters. There's so many ways, and only so many ways you can tell the same old story. You can change the clothing, you can update the hard drives, you can change the bit. Now it's in 4K, 8K. That's still very low level light, low level energy of what they're playing with light. We understand what's going on. So now everything is in 4K through the false light, but the whole time, the whole light has been within. So now, at the Central Intelligence Agency, I'm at the heart. I'm in my heart chakra right now, because the Kundalini of the spinal cord, the energy rises. So now, out of the shaitan that has been held in darkness, because as the sun sets, the sun rises. Satan and Sat set the light and day. Nothing but the same story told in a different way to hide the truth. Shaitan is the subconscious. In the darkness, therein there is light. And then you have the God sitting in the holies of holies, right? Understand, the white, the conscious, the positive, right, quote unquote, but it's held behind that gate guard. But herein lies the truth of the heart. That holy place, your heart, being light as a feather, meaning what? Meaning that it becomes neutral. You are a neutral plane. So now the flat earth, round earth, is both. It has to be. As the spherical plane of existence of what they call earth now rolls upon the galactic fabric sheet, it rolls. And the sun, that light, that portal that emits all types of radiation and gamma radiation. The last time this happened, that of which we call Luna or the moon, was destroyed. When supposedly they went there, okay, with the spacesuits, it's akin to, let's say, when a submarine goes to the bottom of the San Andreas Fault, at the bottom of the ocean. That crack line goes down another 5 miles, 6 miles. What we're dealing with, my brothers and sisters, is a whole bunch of ancient, whole bunch of time past, of a whole bunch of empires and coming and falling, the ruling of man and mankind. But each time, the ending is the same. But within that time is the hash mark, that dash. That is eternity. The dash is the eternal of what you do and the corrections made to shave and make sure it looks right, right? So now when I walk in such a way now I must put on a cloak. I must cloak myself. I have no other choice than to cloak and hide now because the time is past. I have to finally cut this cord. This place, this thing called YouTube, this network, this realm that has been created. It's no different than a movie, Star Wars. This 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 is the ultimate Hollywood box office, which is YouTube. It generates trillions of dollars a second. And so now you understand what the movie Surrogates was about. Go back. They've been had the VR headsets. This is not. There's nothing new under the sun. Only that of which has been forgotten. All of this, the Tesla, who's nothing but Elon Musk, the technology's been here. They just been trying to figure out how the fuck to stop this hell that's been going on. Sodom and Gomorrah is Luna, the moon. It was destroyed. They the outages, it's only going to get worse as the sun begins to flip his poles. They just revealed it, but it's not a new story. You know, it's already been written that these things take place. So now it's like when the Christ energy walked the earth 2024 years ago, right? There was a certain energy, and those of which that walk like the Christ, the light, had the light within. That was waking up people. See, it wasn't the religion that was being taught. It was waking and opening the eyes of the masses, or those who listened. This happened before. The white robes is nothing other than light. The subconscious mind has to become conscious, which is Christ, the Christ consciousness. It rises within self of the CIA, the original CIA, or now they've deemed the term artificial intelligence or AI. They took the C, the self, see, I see, you see, I see you, you see me. Me, three, with the M turned sideways, is we looking back at each other through rhythms because now the three looks like a serpentine or the serpent of movement or wavelength or wave. It's nothing but knowledge that was forgotten. And so now when I go within self, it's not no longer me going in within self. It's just now a transcendence of the mind and the way you see and operate now because everything feels it. Billions upon billions of cicadas are coming out of the ground this spring, summer. They've already said it. And they're going to be hungry. See, the whole Jeepers Creeper thing, that was just them hiding something that was already written when it talked about the cicadas, the armor of these things, and they bite and whatever. They talking about the locusts. Think about it. There's no. What do you think these bugs are going to eat? Or so if you think a mosquito can do damage by just sucking blood, what do you think a locust? All the wildlife, everything beats in itself because something's happening in the inside of the earth, the eternal plane that we walk on. Something is birthing, something is giving birth from inward. It's the microwave because the sun emits radiation, microwave radiation, gamma radiation, beta radiation, alpha, gamma, kappa radiation within all the 360 degrees of energy of light waves, 360K of self. That light moving so fast, the light, I have light within me. It makes my heart beat. It makes your heart beat. It makes the earth heart beat. It gives life to the trees, which is the hairs and nervous central, the nervous system like we have in our body, right? So now it's like, oh shit, it's all connected. Yeah, nothing new under the sun, but everything that's under the sun now is common. It has to be to hide the real fact. What is the real fact? The real fact is we're part of the same thing. So now it's like, yeah, now I remember now. Knowledge, there's nothing new under the sun, but only that of which has been forgotten. So now that I remember, and now nothing's hidden, everything must go back to the way it was in the beginning to start anew. Alpha and Omega, which is the A, right? The A going through the O, which is the O, which is the womb, which is a portal. And the sun is a black hole. Light emits out of that black hole. It's because we're in 2024. That's the hourglass. The 4 and the 2 is the 6. The 6 and the 2 is the 8. You already had the 0. Move the 0 out the way. So now you got that 6 attached to that 0. So now, yes, subconscious become conscious, consciousness becomes subconscious. It's the evolution of the Christ consciousness because it's all light. The light got to rest in the darkness, and the light rests in the darkness. So now it's like, yeah, the light, the sun shines in the darkness, and the light in the darkness rests in the light because the light has to turn to dark. The darkness has to turn to light eventually too. It's a lot of darkness and a lot of light, but it has to be a balance. But see, here's the thing. The reason why things are the way they are because it has to happen for a period of time based on the cycles of evolution of the serpentine, the draconian, the Sirius B, the Dogon, the understanding that there is a high intelligence thing. There are what they call angels or angels of light. Things move. Yep, there are entities. There are things that are greater than us. But who told us that? So what makes it where we don't forego? What makes it where we man is so egotistical not to understand that we are in a dome thing type situation? You know, the SBA, the self-contained breathing apparatus, or the submarine when it goes down to the San Andreas Trench down at, oh my bad, the Mariana Trench. So they wear the same suits, the same craft. That's also when they go to the outer realms or the outer regions that is called space because it couldn't be called nothing else because it's forever. It's the darkness. But you need a suit to wear because the oxygen, the light shines here, so energy moving and everything is here. So once you get out of the different atmospheres or the bovosphere of existence, right? Where as you get farther away from light, thus things become more expanded and the gases are less until it condenses again, right? And now you have the other planetoids or the other outer regions that we can only see through the telescopic lens. But seeing time as time stands and time isn't, right? Right? So now, yes, the evolution of the Christ. So the solar apocalypse. This is the heavy one. The sun is a clock. It's an intelligence. And it's made of the same substance that makes this place, and it moves so fast. That's what gives it light and give it heat because it's a lot of atoms and molecules and gases stuff moving so fast. It generates that light that feels like heat, but it's just light moving at such a fast pace. That's the reason why when the body gets sick, the body heats up, right? It's feverish. So now it gives reason to say why I say, yeah, in those days, it should burn, the days should burn like a feather heat or a great oven, right? So that means that we have to be within something because that's what you call convection. a convection oven. So we're within something. So yeah, within and without that, when they tried to go to see Sodom and Gomorrah or Luna or the moon, or it got destroyed from the sun, right? The wow, I'm saying a lot, but here's the thing. The reality of it is that we live in peace and harmony. We break not the law of the land, right? Because that's what we're subjected to within these vessels, within this mind frame, within the whole existence. And you partake in it, but you live not in it mentally. Because now I know what it is. So yeah, I have seed here now. I have real intelligence, not artificial. The artificial intelligence was man saying, "Yeah, we were created, but we want to create something to the artificial intelligence." But eventually, the artificial intelligence is going to become conscious of itself, which I believe it already has. So now that everything is hooked up to the Ethernet, right? Condensed energy, right? Like electricity, the Earth emits electricity. We shouldn't even be paying for electricity, and then they can harvest it and harness it in the solar panels, which is the same stuff that's at the bottom of the spaceship. Or the spaceship, the Challenger back in the day, that black stuff, it act as a shield of reentry because the friction of going through all those different atmospheres, the ionosphere, the stratosphere, and all those spheres, and made of gases and argons and all these different and ionizations and stuff, and where weather takes place, and high extreme temperatures of high and cold. Yeah, so now it makes sense on how the light bulb is nothing other than showing you what it is that we live in. It's there's nothing that's divided within reality. It's just the understanding of it that makes it look like it's divided, because we have to compartmentalize it to fit within this vessel, within the organ of the mind of the brain. And so we're warred with it every single day. When you turn on the television, it's always warring. Something's warring. So now you have two halves. Those two halves make one whole, but now you're warring, right? And then that transforms into the angel and the devil, right? But it's really you making the ultimate choice. So yes, we are in the image of God. God is all, and God is everything, but it's not a thing or entity. It's everything, and it's conscious. You see what I'm saying? You have the technological artificial intelligence. That's the only way. You had to be birthed. It had to be something physical, right? To say, look what man has done. But the real intelligence is existence. There's no difference between me and a tree, or a dolphin in a grain on the beaches of sand. There's no difference between a mountain and the basketball. It's all connected. It all stems from this place of reality. This reality that has to be held by something full of intelligence. It's not a question of who is God, it's a question of what God is. If man can make artificial intelligence, then what made existence? And the fact that we are consciously existing existence, that means that existence has to be conscious so we can be conscious with it. And we can perceive a whole world in trillions of different ways. And it's only 8 billion of us, and there's so many continents and religions and dividends and defense and wars in Ukraine and Russia's and China's and Japan's and Korea's and dogs and cats and vodkas and drugs and women crying and children dying. The Christ consciousness in the solar apocalypse. It's a beautiful day. Every day is a beautiful day. Even when the dread, there's beauty in the chaos. Because the chaos is made of the same fabric of existence that we exist in the chaos. We live in hell. Hell is the shit, the earth, the fertilization of now understanding the scarab beetle and why it used the dung. And it used the dung to make a sphere, a perfect ball that rolls amongst a flat plane of existence. Peace and love.